there is this flurry of old white people that want to sit here and tell everybody what it is, what the black experience is. He did the same thing that Joy Behar just did, but nobody wants to call Joe Biden out on it. Tim Scott said it's not a racist country. Kamala Harris said it's not a racist country. Tim Scott punked the entire Democrat Party. It's a beauty to watch. It really is. But they went after him and not Kamala Harris. Notice how interesting that is. They went after him, but not her. And when Joe Biden says this, you have Tim Scott sitting here, and Tim Scott didn't say, and there's a huge difference. And I've noticed that all of these progressive pundits can't seem to grasp this massive difference. There is a huge difference between saying that America is not a racist country, i.e. systemic racism doesn't exist, and there are incidents of racism, because you're always going to have jackwagons that share brain cells. Kind of how that works. And so there's a huge difference between this and saying all of this. And so now you have Joe Biden. Well, can you imagine? And the irony of asking a guy that, the irony of asking one of the oldest white people in Congress who eulogized a Klan member who was a champion of segregation. Oh, he didn't just support it. He didn't just advocate for it. I mean, the man practically painted himself the colors of segregation and took a shirt off and went and cheered in the stands for it and coached it and everything else. I mean, that's if you wanted to, have that kind of measurement. He was a huge supporter. And he wrote the crime bill, which contributed to this insanity that we see with the prison system and everything else. I could sit here and go on and on. I'm not even going to get into all of his other quips and remarks and, all of that. But the irony of asking that guy about Tim Scott's comment, asking the old white guy who helped implement the systemic racism within his own party, it's just unbelievable to behold. Tim Scott, I don't think that the media and I don't think that the progressive left still fully understands how badly they were punked by Tim Scott, because it's still coming. It's still happening. And he's handled this just fantastically. Now, interestingly enough, in his speech too, when he was giving his address, he said too, he'd made the differentiation that I did, that there's a difference between talking about systemic racism and then talking about separate incidents of racism. And we know that separate incidents of racism exist. We know that racism is absolutely real. Tim Scott was the victim of it just a couple of days ago, while Twitter allowed Uncle Tim to trend for 11 and a half hours before they decided to remove it, because a bunch of verified white journalists and white progressives, white Marxists, white Democrats who are preaching to everyone else about critical race theory, they were the ones who made it trend while simultaneously accusing everyone else of their own sin.